Where was the pain, Jameis?
Yeah, just pain. It was pain everywhere. So we got to keep on pushing through and being resilient.
Sean Barkley. I swear, Sean Barkley is the best. Like, we survived the Giants, and now the Eagles got Sean Barkley. Lord have mercy, man.
Ball and lines it down the field. Caught by Cribbs at the 8-yard line, up the middle 10. He's to the 20. He's to the 25, 30, 35, 40. He's down the sideline, 50. I think he's going to go. He's to the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Joshua Cribbs.
All right, baby, we're back. It's week 11. What's happening, guys? Weird slate this week. It's going to be hard. Just going through it earlier this week, I just found some very difficult to make lineups. So going to be kind of weird this week. But I got some players written down that I really like. We'll go over them. Some of my main staples, plus game by game breakdown. We'll see what we like in each game, and then I'll give out my player pool of who I'm interested in this week, and hopefully you guys enjoy that. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, please, because like 60% of you are not. So if you see this and you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, because we're busting out content every week. Build on lineups, talking DFS, anything like that. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and leave a like and a subscribe for me. That'd be cool. And we'll jump into it this week. Before we get started, I do want to say rest in peace, John Beam, coach for Laney College. Got shot in the head, so very tragic there out in California. So prayers up to his family. Super sad to hear that. Super good guy, I think. So yeah, it's a crazy situation. But anyways, with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started. And we'll jump right into our lineups this week. I mean, team by team. So first off, we got the Bucks at the Bills, 46.5 total. I think weather is depending on this game, so we'll see kind of how that plays out. But in this game, I'm not really interested in Baker so much. I don't think, if any. I do like Josh Allen at 7%. I think it's a good buy low spot there on this Buffalo team. Of course, Buffalo's still good. I don't think they're a bad team. Just got exposed last week, I think, a little bit. I don't hate it. I don't mind going back to Buffalo at home here. One player I do like out of this game is James Cook. Especially, I think it's a super good buy low spot on him. 11% ownership. That's probably even too high. I think he's more around 9. Come Sunday, I think he kind of gets squeezed by Dowdle and a couple guys below him. So he's kind of in that no man's range there at 77K, which is normally where he always is, but he's always capable of going for like 33, 34. It happens. So I don't hate James Cook this week on a good buy low spot at home. Bad weather, so they could just feed him the rock, which, depending on the weather, that's how we'll play it. I'm still interested in Josh Allen snow games too, so don't get me completely messed up there. But yeah, we got Josh Allen and James Cook out of this game. Not interested in Dawson Knox. One player you could possibly get on, I don't have him written down, but I just thought he was a little bit overpriced. But 7,200 Emeka Buka keeps producing week in and week out. Was kind of on a dry run. So against this Buffalo team that they're probably trailing against, I don't hate bringing it back with a Buka. Maybe spend down a little bit there at receiver. Capable of putting up a 30-point game just as much as, Jamar Chase or any of these guys are. Probably not the Puka JSN-esque, but still good spot for Emeka Buka. Buffalo's terrible in D, so look out for Emeka Buka this week. That's pretty much it on this game, I think. I don't have much on it. I don't know why I just done this. But yeah, Emeka Buka's cool. James Cook definitely in play for me a lot this week, and Josh Allen. Really, that's about it on that game. Green Bay at New York, 25-18. Green Bay total at 25, 43 total. I don't know about this game. This game seems to be a little bit of a buy low spot on the Packers, but yet they're not. Nobody's really buying in low as of late. One thing I can see happening here, and he'll definitely be in my player pool, is Jordan Love. just off of that Josh Jacobs ownership. I know people are going to love to play Josh Jacobs, but I think they know they have a running game. It's kind of why I'm leading towards this build. I think they want to get their pass game more involved, getting Christian Watson more looks, especially. I like him and Dobbs this week. I like Jolo. Used to have Kraft there, but not anymore, and it's Musgrave now. So not really interested in Musgrave. Didn't really see the, he's not good. I don't think he's not Tucker Kraft. So I don't think it's a 1-for-1 swap. You're kind of limiting your upside there with Musgrave, in my opinion. But yeah, I like Jordan Love, Romeo Dobbs, and Christian Watson. Watson's only a GPP play for me. I've written down. Probably wouldn't play him single entry. I might play him single entry, actually. I kind of like that spot against New York. Terrible pass defense. So I don't hate it because, Josh Jacobs stays at his ownership, which he probably should at 21. He's probably closer to 25 if we're all being honest. I just think that that's kind of high on him at 7,800. Just a lot to pay on a guy who's probably going to get you like 24. I think you could find pay dirt with a Watson, 100-yard game and a touchdown. That's in his range of outcomes, and he's super cheap too. I think he's like $4,900. Christian Watson is. No, he's less. Where's Watson? Christian Watson 44. Yeah, this makes it even better. So there's Jordan Love stacks at like 10K. Single stack him. I don't hate it. You can play him as a 1-off too. I don't hate that. Romeo Dobbs, just week in and week out, seems to be the wide receiver one now with no Tucker Kraft anymore. At 5K, 11%, he's probably going to go up. He's one of the value plays this week, in my opinion. I like him, though, as a staple. 5K, you just can't, you can't beat that price for a wide receiver one. Wan'Dale Robinson's 5,500, so put that into perspective. Yeah, that's not interested in anything else really, other than on the Packers side, at least. So we've got Watson, we got Jordan Love. You could put me down for a little bit if I won't play a lot of them, but Josh Jacobs, I just don't think it's that great. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'd rather bet on Christian Watson and then at no ownership than Josh Jacobs at pretty high ownership for Josh Jacobs. So nothing really else there. We'll jump to the Giants side of the ball. I really do like I don't think I really like him, but I think he's playable. JMO at Jameson Winston, that is, at 4,600, 2% ownership. He's probably closer to 6 come Sunday, but 4,600, rightfully so. He could throw for 4 and probably throw 3 picks, so you could play Green Bay's defense on the bring back if you wanted to. Wouldn't hate that. Wan'Dale is a little bit expensive, 5,500. I don't know. I think they could just bracket him and call him good for the day, but yeah, just not interested really a whole lot in the receiving core. I do like J-Mo, so I kind of got to be, but I think I'd take like a Theo Johnson or something like that with that play. Just not getting a lot of it on that side of the ball, so just kind of staying away, not entirely, but we'll have some spots that we'll pick and choose from, but just not totally interested in that game. Bengals versus Steelers. This is the highest point total in the week. Yeah. So 49 point total, 21 and 3/4 for the Bengals, 27 and 1/4 for the Steelers. Steelers projected to win, 5.5 point spread. So yeah, I don't hate this game. I can see this going a lot of different ways. So if running back chalk holds true, which normally it does, it's usually about right. You're going to see 25% Jalen Warren, probably in 30% Jalen Warren, or 30% Chase Brown. Both those guys are cheap, is why they're popping. Chase Brown's a little bit better of a spin down at 5,700, so I don't hate it, and I don't hate Jalen Warren. I do have them written down just as chalk plays, so you kind of sometimes you got to play the chalk. So I don't entirely hate it. If I'm going to fade one of them, or I'm fading, I can fade both of them because I got some other options that I like. So I'll be definitely running that in tournaments for sure to try to gain some field. I know it's not entirely right to fade running back chalk, but I do like CMC, so that's kind of why I'm not too interested in those guys. But if you're looking for value in this game, you can probably go to the receiving core, and I have him written down here. I thought I did. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, T. Higgins at 6K. Just go back to it. I mean, it's worth a stab at 5% ownership, which is probably right. Nobody's going to play T. Everybody's going to play single stacks with Jamar Chase or Chase Brown in those stacks. So you could definitely double stack this up and say this all goes to receivers, play Flacco stacks. That's fine. Not interested in Rodgers, I don't think. I just don't see the weaponry there for Rodgers anymore, and he's kind of old, just seems slow. I don't know. All right, so we're back here, and we don't like entirely Aaron Rodgers spots that much. He's going to pull some ownership around 6%, 7%, so not entirely in love with that. Metcalf, you could go at 8K at 8%. I'd kind of like that, to pull off some of that Jalen Warren chalk. So I wouldn't blame you for going to Metcalf, but one player that stuck out to me this week just kind of seems like a misprice. Target share alone, red zone threat, just an athlete. You have Jonnu Smith at 2,900, 5%. Probably going to be one of my favorite tight end plays on the week. Just so cheap, man. I think you could double tight end this week again. I wouldn't hate it. Jonnu, though, at 2,900, 5% ownership. I think it's a pretty good spot for him against Cincinnati, who is terrible against the tight end. So don't hate going there. Yeah, that's really about it. I don't have much interest in Freiermuth or Darnell Washington. Just no, I don't see the tournament upside there. But yeah, Flacco is in play for me along with T. Higgins and Jamar. I have Jamar written down as one of my favorite receivers, but he's going to be highly owned, so it's one thing to take account for. That's going to do us on that game, and we'll jump over to this Chargers at the Jaguars. 23 on the Chargers, 20 on the Jags. I think this game could possibly see the over here at 43.5. Seems kind of low. I do have some players out of this game that I do like. I like Justin Herbert at 6% ownership, $6,300. Seems a little underpriced against his pass funnel. One player that stuck out though really was, he's kind of roulette, but McConkey, 7% at 65, a little expensive, so you might not see it that much ownership there. I think people go down to Keenan at 3% ownership or Quentin Johnston. I don't know why I can't find QJ. Is he playing this week? Oh, he's questionable. So at 5K, Quentin Johnson seems fun. Definitely for GPPs only, but I do like Quentin Johnson in the spot. I like Herbert too. Not getting much on the Jag side. One player you can make a case for is Jacoby Myers. Should see an uptick. We'll just kind of see what happens with Brian Thomas. But Brian Thomas is out. I do think Jacoby Myers could see a lot of targets, so I don't hate that play either. 3%. He'll probably boost up if actually I don't know. He might not. Maybe 5% you could see on him, but not totally crazy. All right, so we'll jump back over here to that's really about all I'm getting. Not getting any Kamani Vidal. I just don't think your tournament upside's there. Texans at the Titans, 37 total, 21 point for the Texans. One player I do really like, as another value option here is Woody Marks at $5,400. Seems like a misprice. Seeing all the carries now, Woody Marks 8%. He'll see some ownership, but I do think he's a good play at $5,400. Davis Mills is one of my punt quarterbacks. I kind of liked him last week a little bit. I didn't play much of him. I think I had like 3%, but I definitely seen a path for it. Just didn't expect that kind of path, but that was a little bit of crazy run out, a little bit of luck. So sometimes you need that, Davis Mills could have got it done in the Millie last week. So $4,500 for Davis Mills at 4%. I don't hate that. Not getting any Cam Ward Yeah, nothing really else from that game entirely. Nico Collins just too expensive. What's he at this week? 67x. He's not terribly expensive, 14%. So definitely could see some targets go his way. So I don't hate that. Yeah, Nico's okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it on this game. So we'll go ahead and jump to the next one. That's kind of a bad game anyhow. The Bears at the Vikings. Bears on a 23-point total. Vikings on 25.5. One running back I do find very valuable this week, and seeing the work last week, should see some more his role increase again. Aaron Jones, 5,500, 11% ownership. I think he's a good running back play on this week. Probably one of my favorite at $5,500. Just value hunting. That's kind of where it's at. He's at home in the dome, so I just don't hate it. I think it's a good play. I think he's actually a really good play. I'll have a lot of Aaron Jones this week. Who else are we getting from the Vikings? I have Jordan Addison written down as well. Where's he at? 53. I thought he said 53, 55. So $5,500, 4% on Jordan Addison. I don't hate that either. Good receiver. Sees a lot of red zone targets, but just hasn't converted as much as I'd like. But Jordan Addison's always capable of going for 100 and a touchdown. At 5,500, seems a little underpriced, but he does have, 9 thrown to him. So a little bit weird scenario there, but I like Aaron Jones, I think, out of this game the most. Swapping over to the Caleb side, I'm interested in not a whole lot. I think this game could get out of hand very quick. I like the Vikings defense this week. What are they priced at? Vikings at 3K, 7%. Yeah, I like the Vikings this week at home against the Bears. Double that up with Aaron Jones. Not interested in Caleb. Not so much on the Dunze. Yeah, just not really for me doing it this week. You can make a case for Swift if you wanted to punt. Well, not really punt, but spend down. But he's at 58. I'll just go to Woody Marks, a couple other guys I like down here. So not interested in that side of the ball too much. You got the Panthers at the Falcons, 41.5 point total. Falcons should see some work here. I do like Penix out of this game for some reason. I kind of like Penix this week. So I do kind of like Kyle Pitts. Spend up a little bit with him, but at 4K, 9%. Yeah, he's a pretty good play this week, I think, too. Let's see what Drake London ends up doing at 14%. Should see some ownership, which is kind of leery. So I don't know if I totally love it, but for GPP type stuff, you could play Penix with, Kyle Pitts or a Bijan, and I wouldn't hate you for it. I have Bijan written down too as one of my plays this week at the running back spot. Just at home, favored team. So I do kind of lean towards that, but 8,300, seeing some ownership. You would like to see a little less ownership on that, maybe 10%. I don't know if he gets there. He's probably at like 12 if he does get down. So not really crazy about it, but I don't hate it. Jumping to the other side of the ball, I have Rico Dowdle written down with a question mark because I don't know yet. 17% ownership seems high on him at $6,800. But we've seen the games out of him, so you just can't avoid that. So I don't mind playing Rico again, going back to it. Kind of burned us last week, but you'll live again. He scored a touchdown. He had 14 points, so just things didn't go entirely correct there. Yeah, I don't hate that play either. Just kind of iffy about it, so I have a question mark beside that name tag there at Rico Dowdle, but not getting any Bryce Young, so nothing really else from that game sticks. San Fran at the Cardinals, 25-point total on San Fran, 22 on the Cards, 48.5 total. Game could probably go over here pretty easily. So I don't hate who do I have written down? I have Greg Dortch written down as a GPP flyer. Dorch the Torch is what I call him because he's very fast, but not very fast at all. If you look at his 40, it's actually really slow. Greg Dortch, $3,300 though, at 5% ownership. Gadgety type guy, could see some work in the red zone, design runs, things like that. Also kind of a burner too. But yeah, Greg Dortch seems sticking out to me at 3,300. That seems severely underpriced in those Jacoby Brissett stacks. I do have Brissett written down as a quarterback again. I'll keep playing him every week until they price him accordingly. He's went up this week to 49, so still under 5K. Just playing out of his mind right now. 8% ownership, 18. He's projected for 18 points. I don't really follow that all that much. I think you could definitely see some more. But one player you're going to probably have to play this week is Trey McBride. No Marvin Harrison, just absolute smash spot for Trey McBride. Should be trailing in this game, I think. So Trey McBride's definitely in play for me. The touchdowns are there, 30-point upside. Just you can't beat it. Eat that chalk at 24%. Probably the best pound for pound play on the slate, really. Criminally underpriced, 6,300. He should be about 7K. That's right about where he should be for his target share, but I don't know what I know. But Trey McBride seems fun at 63. You should probably lock that in. He'll definitely have a lot of Trey McBride. Just pound for pound, one of the best plays on the slate. Yeah. Do we have anybody else written down from that side? No. Okay. Like I said, Greg Dortch, one of my favorite plays at the punt position there at 33. You might need that this week, so should see some work usage there. Everyone be on Michael Wilson. Just go ahead and zag off of him at 11% and a more expensive price tag. Like I said, we're value hunting here, so yeah, I don't hate that Greg Dortch play with Brissett and McBride stacks. I think that's fun. Jump into San Fran side. Not interested in Kittle. Only player I like here is CMC. You can make a case for Juwan Jennings at 5,100. Continually seeing a work role usage there, but Pearsall's back this week, so I don't know entirely. So a little bit shaky. I don't think Brock Purdy's healthy. I don't know. I just don't think that's a great spot for the receivers. I do like CMC though. To run it all over him here. So yeah, CMC is probably one of my favorite running backs on the slate. Rightfully so. That should go without being said. 24 point, not 24. Well, 25 point total there for San Fran. So I do think some scoring is going to be involved this week, and I think CMC is a major part of that. So that's really all I have from that game. Seattle at the Rams, 22 total for Seattle, 25 for the Rams, 48.5 on the over/under. Big game here. This game could see a boom here. I think you could definitely have to have plays here in this game. So very interested in Puka Nacua though at 14%. That seems criminally underpriced. I mean, under-owned. Sorry. I mean, these three guys are the same. You probably can't play three of them. You might be able to play two of them. So I don't hate that. Just running those two against each other, JSN and Puka, you could see 70 points. That could swing in your favor there. 2 35-point games from these guys is not out of the realm of possibilities. I love them both. If I had to pick one gun to my head, I'm going Puka Nacua. Just, all around good play. Like I said, Puka should see like 12 targets this game. And yeah, JSN as well, getting some deep balls. But I want to swap to one of his co-main players here. And I played him last week, didn't do anything. But Rashid Shaheed at 4,900, 1% ownership. That is a GPP flyer for me. I will have a good bit of Rashid Shaheed again. I like the Darnold stacks. He's going under owned at 3%. I don't understand that quite entirely. Just think there's a lot more value. He's kind of expensive though at 56, I think he is. Yeah, 57 on Darnold, and you got Stafford up there at 66, which is a little pricey. Sam Darnold at 57 seems pretty good value, pulling 2% ownership, which is probably about right. He's probably at that 2 to 3 range, so I don't hate that in the late window. Sam Darnold, probably one of my main staples at quarterback again this week. I'll have a lot of Sam Darnold. Yeah, that does it for this game. Anything else from the Rams side that I like? Yeah, not really. Just kind of Puka. Devontae's kind of priced up for what he can do. So, yeah, I don't hate it. But yeah, so be it. That's going to be it for that game. Jump over the Ravens at the Browns, and we'll get into some lineups after we finish these games out for you guys. Ravens total at 23-15 on the Browns. In Cleveland, could be a kind of nasty game depending on weather. Lamar Jackson, I don't hate going back to the well with the Zay Flowers this week. I think that could be kind of nutty a little bit. But $6,900 Lamar with like 60 foot. What is Zay Flowers at? Is he at 64? He's a little priced up, I think, but value 64. He could go for 30. Probably not going to run on Cleveland a whole lot with Derrick Henry, so I do suspect be throwing the ball. I do like Mark Andrews, 3,500. I'll go back there again. But yeah, I do kind of like Lamar with Zay Flowers or Lamar with Andrews. I wouldn't double stack that game. I would just single stack it. But one of those combos could definitely be in the millie this week. I could see Lamar going for 30 plus this week. So I don't hate Lamar at 69, and I don't hate Zay Flowers at 64. Nothing from Cleveland side. Not interested in Judkins really. I don't know. Am I? He's kind of burns me a lot. Yeah, 2% not interested. Yeah, no, I'm not interested in Judkins this week, so I'm out on that. Next game we got Kansas City at the Broncos. Now there's some fireworks here waiting to happen, I think. That being said, I do like Rashee Rice. I think he's going under owned for his work usage. Rashee Rice at 79, definitely a wide receiver one. Can play with these guys up here too, just based on his targets. He gets in the box twice. He's definitely playing with those guys up the top. But Rashee Rice at 14%, $7,900. Don't hate that either. Running back wise, I do like two guys out of this game. RJ Harvey, $5,400. That seems underpriced. 11% ownership. I do like that play. But Kareem Hunt at $5,200. We've seen Kareem Hunt go for 18 to 20 points with 2 scores. It's very possible. In a game they should be ahead, just look for Kareem to punch him in and lock up. But at no ownership, I like to play some Kareem Hunt this week. Not interested in Sutton really. Yeah, just not interested totally in those receivers other than Rashee Rice. Patrick Mahomes, I guess. I don't hate it. Just kind of expensive. I would rather just play Lamar or something like that, but 7% on Patrick's a little high ownership for him. I like him better at like 4. So not totally fun there for me with Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, that'll do it for this week's breakdown of the games. And I will mention, I don't think I mentioned these 2 tight ends that I had on here. My first tight end that I do like a lot is Gadsden. It's 4,600. Should see some ownership, but another sneaky play at 3,100 is AJ Barner at 2% with those Sam Darnold stacks. And a game that I love, I'll play a lot of AJ Barner too. I could see that definitely that could be definitely hitting. AJ Barner at 3,100 seems like a pretty good play. He's kind of live too. They do run like that tush push weird thing with him too, so maybe you could get like a goal line score or something along with a catch. That would be very ideal. But 3,100 seems kind of cheap for him. Red zone threat, should see a touchdown, if not 2. Yeah, that's kind of all I had for those guys. Anybody else I missed? Oh yeah, Lab McConkey. No, we went over Lab McConkey. Sorry. Yeah, that's pretty much it this week on my main staples of players. But yeah, we'll jump over to DraftKings and we'll build out a lineup, see how everything's cooking out. Like I said, you might want to spend down a little bit this week at quarterback. So I'm going to go Darnold with a JSN and a Barner stack. I do find that fun, interesting, a little bit different way to get with JSN. Sometimes you just got to play the quarterback with those guys, Barner at 31. We'll go ahead and plug that in there. Now we're going to need some value here at running back, but I do kind of want to play CMC and see what we can kind of get with this. If I'm going to spin back down, I'm going to go with like a Woody Marks or an Aaron Jones, kind of like Aaron Jones there. Tight end. I mean, I guess you can run double tight end. We might run double tight end here. Receivers, I said to do like Dortch. Greg Dortch, where's he at? Greg Dortch at 33. We're going to need some relief there. Now, if I could fit Puka in this would be nuts. Just Puka on that bring back. Just games tech that up. I don't think you're going to be able. It's going to be a nasty punt. Yeah, you're probably not going to be able to fit McCaffrey in that totally. So if I'm not going to McCaffrey, I might play like a James Cook and see what I can do at flex. I'm not going to be able to get McBride. Maybe not in this lineup. Maybe I don't need to. Let's go ahead and lock in the Vikes at 3K, giving us 45. It's just not a good spot, is it? At 45. Who can we jump off of and kind of spend up here a little bit? You could run. No, you can't even run him. So instead of like Christian Watson, that's kind of nasty. I don't hate that. Sam Darnold, double with JSN, Barner on a Puka bring back, along with Greg Dortch, Christian Watson, Vikings defense, James Cook, and Aaron Jones Sr. I don't hate this play at all. We'll fit. We'll try this real quick. We'll take him out and we'll pop in McBride in the flex. Because I think McBride's a good play this week. I do like a lot of McBride in the flex. 7,100 left on the receiving core here. You can go to like a McConkey or something like that. Zay, I said I like Zay as a one-off in that game. Got 700 left over. You don't even have to go to Aaron Jones. Who can you get to? You get to Rashad White, Jalen Warren. No. Let's see see how this can play out. Let's get off of him. 74. Who can we get 74? Drake London or Emeka Buka. That's kind of like a mini game stack there too. I don't hate that play. I said I like Ibuka a lot. All right, so we got Darnold with a single stack of Barner, McBride, double tight end, Puka Nacua, Dortch, Ibuka, Kareem Hunt, James Cook. If we just slammed value though at running back, I'll chalk at least. You could definitely get even crazier with this. This is what I was saying. You could play a JSN. If you double punt it at running back, I don't hate this either. This is kind of a fun little sneak play, but you're just double punting there with Dortch and Barner kind of. But yeah, you're just kind of hoping for a score for Barner at that point. Kareem Hunt's just I don't know. I don't think this is a bad build. Just kind of a GPP type, and we'll clear this out. And we'll start fresh. Quarterback wise, we have Baker stuff. Hello. Who do we want to start at this week? I don't know if I want to spend up entirely. Let's go to a Herbert. Herbert with Gadsden. Say that stack there is competing. We'll go no JSN. We'll go Jamar Chase. We'll fit in CMC. Probably not going to be able to do that. We'll try. Doubt you'll be able to do that though. Let's take him out of the flex. Put him in there. Receiving. Okay. All right. You're going to have to spend down in this secondary spot still. So I think that's kind of the build. It's going to be a one punt option. I don't know if you double punt it, but you could play like a Harvey in this scenario against KC. Should see some pass down work. I don't hate it. Receivers, we said we like Jordan Addison. We'll throw him in there. 10K left over. What do you play it? I don't know if you play another Dortch. We'll see what you can get with a Watson. Yeah, just going to be punt again, man. Just that freaking quarterback spots. You're going to have to spend down, I feel like. I'm just going to go back to Brisket. I think it's just too fun there. Flex, I'm going to bring it back with McBride. going to throw out. Actually, let's throw him out of there. Throw Gadsden out of there. Play McBride. 6K left over. You could go with just double tight end seems to work this week. Just for pricing, you can go Jonnu Smith there. 3K and get any defense you want just about. Chiefs D, Vikings. I like the Vikings D there. So I don't hate that lineup. We got Jacoby Brissett, Christian McCaffrey, RJ Harvey, Jamar Chase, Jordan Addison, Christian Watson, Trey McBride, and Jonnu Smith. Vikings D at 3K. This is a pretty good build here, I think. Well balanced. So yeah, that'll do us for this week, guys. If you guys enjoyed this, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the show. We'll really appreciate it. Good luck tomorrow. We should be looking to double tight end this week, so keep on the lookout for that. Let me know how you guys do in the comments or any other questions you have. So be happy to answer it there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.